You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets.
What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to change the beat at least.
World champions! Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
And good afternoon, everyone. My name's Eric Perugini. My co-host Chris Lahiff will be on in just a quick second. This is episode 6 of the Philly podcast, presented by La Terrain Watches, the Monkey's Uncle.net, Back to 99 Productions, and the CEV Sports Podcast Network. Again, I am Eric. Chris will be joining us in just a minute. Today, we are going to be talking about, well, first we're going to recap last week's game against the New York Giants, where Chris and I were both at that game with some friends and family. That was a game that we were waiting for. We wanted a true game plan. It was the second game in a row where Jalen Hurts did not have any fumble issues. In the last 2 games, he's only had 1 turnover, which was the INT that he threw last week. And I was happy with it. You know, we had a good running attack. It was great. Saquon had an amazing day. So I was happy to see that. And here we are. We got Chris with us now. Lucha Lahiff is in the house.
What's going on? We're on TikTok Live too right now, so I have it on our phone. So.
All right, cool, man. Cool. Sounds good. Well, welcome, TikTokers. So, yeah, man. I was just going over real quick last week's game. Jalen Hurts didn't have a big game through the air. He only threw 114 yards. He did have the 1 interception. But the big news of the day was Saquon Barkley.
He didn't have an interception.
Carries 176 yards. He had a touchdown. His longest run was a 55-yarder. And he also brought in 2 catches for another 11 yards. So, I mean, he had a really good day. He had a career day going on, at least on the ground.
I'm in a little bit of a disagreement with you. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think Jalen Hurts threw a pick last week.
No, he did. I'm looking at the stats right now. He was 10 for 14, 114 yards, And wait a minute, hold on. I'm looking at this
No.
again. No, he did not. They have it.
Oh, okay.
They have the stats are one over where his completions and attempts are. It's under yards. His yards are under
okay.
TDs. All right, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's 2 games where no turnovers.
Absolutely
awesome.
I have a stat for you. He's gone
Okay.
102 pass attempts without a pick.
Oh man, what is it? Preseason again?
No, it's training camp.
Yes, I'm sorry. The extended training camp. I'm sorry. So
Yes, extended training camp. Now, listen, you're right. He didn't throw a pick. He was 10 of 14 for what you say, 114 yards.
114 through the air.
And think about it, 89 of that went to AJ Brown. So, he didn't have to show off. And there's and Eagles fans and people who hate the Eagles and hate Jalen Hurts. There's going to be games like this where you're not going to have to throw the ball 20 to 34 times a game. You're just not going to have to. And they got the run game established early, and they just couldn't stop it. You said Saquon had a 55-yarder.
Yes.
He had 3 runs of over 30 in one game. That never happens. They couldn't stop him, and it's you like you said, like we were at the game, we had fun. It was a blast. We got Mr. Adam Sandler here, Stoppelganger, who was in his velour suit. Obviously, what you see is what I had on. I had on my mask that I wore, and I had what else? I had my overalls.
Yeah, your overalls.
They almost didn't let me in the stadium because I had my mask, which was crazy. Crazy. They're like, no, you can't wear your mask. Oh, yeah, because there's one person walking around with mask and overalls on. So if you're going to rob something, look for the guy in the overalls. Or look for the guy who's naked without a mask and overalls. It didn't make sense.
No, and also, by the way, I don't want to cut Jalen Hurts short. He also had 22 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns on the ground. So, I mean, he did have a very good day.
No, he did.
All around, a very good day.
And like I said, and that's what people look at. They're like, oh, he still had 3 total touchdowns. At the end of the day, Jalen Hurts was good.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that I'm hearing a lot now, all week long leading to this game, everybody was critiquing him, because now they're saying, oh, well, because of his low passing total, he's being called a game manager now. And I sit and they're like, is a game manager worth that type of money? Number one, do I think a game manager is worth that type of money? No, but it's the market. It's what it calls for. I mean, you can't talk about what a guy is supposed to do because of how much he's getting paid. They won the game. He had a very good day. He was efficient. And that's all you want out of your starting quarterback. Now,
all right,
it's not dangerous.
Is he better than Daniel Jones?
Yes, he is.
He's making $40 million. Right now, is he better than Trevor Lawrence?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would say yes.
And Trevor Lawrence is making a lot more than him. So I don't want to hear about the game manager. It's just the way the game is. And like you pointed out earlier, it's what the market calls for. Daniel Jones shouldn't be making $40 million a year. Dak Prescott shouldn't be making $65 million or whatever hell he's making a year. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, it's what the market calls for. And listen, I don't care. We got a discount. We got a discount with Jalen Hurts and his contract. I know it's a lot of money, but when you look at the other quarterbacks, it's really not. And that's saying a lot because they get paid a shitload of money.
Yeah, like I said, that's the problem with this ever-growing cap, this ever-growing these contracts for these quarterbacks. Pretty much all the players, but the quarterbacks are they are the ones that run the show. They are the prom king every Sunday. All eyes are on them. That's what it is. And I'm just glad that we have a guy who, granted, I was rough on him at first, but after a couple of years, I'm like, okay, this kid's good. I don't feel that they made a Carson Wentz type mistake. I mean, they didn't. This kid is totally different. He had a couple injuries, but mentally he came back from it and came back better. We all know the situation with the guy before him. He was not mentally tough.
Listen, there is. Just look at the Cleveland Browns in the situation they're in for the next 2 seasons.
Yeah. I can't believe that anybody would give a guaranteed contract to a quarterback that's not named Patrick Mahomes, who that guy isn't even having a Patrick Mahomes year. I mean,
No,
he's
not.
looking pretty average. Now,
No, he's average. He's still Patrick Mahomes, but it's I know you bring it all. I know you bring it up all the time. I think there's like $72 million dead cap next year and like 76 in 2026. That's bananas.
Yeah, it is. So let's put it this way: over the next 2 years, just to throw it out there, his cap hit is over $70 million a year for the next 2 seasons. I mean, it differs the next couple of years, but it's over $70 million each year. And
right, and what is it? Like you said, 72 and then 76. Ooh, they got paid $4 more million. It's still money you can't use.
Right, it's still money they can't use, and I mean, everyone made fun of the Eagles when they traded Wentz and had that dead cap hit. Imagine if Cleveland has to make a decision on Jameis Winston on Deshaun Watson. Imagine that. Like, they're on the hook for all that money because it's guaranteed.
And I don't ever want to hear. I don't ever want to hear anything that is ever said about Eagles fans. The Cleveland Browns fan base is absolutely disgusting for sitting there and saying, for a guy who ruptured his Achilles, I don't care, he's a piece of this, he's that, he had the allegations, they're not found to be true. But for people to sit there and chant, you deserve it, that's a disgrace. It's a disgrace as a Cleveland Browns fan. That's a disgrace as a sports fan in general. And listen, I understand. I understand why. Doesn't make it right. There's just some things that aren't said.
Yeah, I mean that is a terrible chant to make. It's basically thanking everybody, thanking God because the guy got hurt. And I know sports can be very emotional for a lot of fans. I mean, we know that better than most fan bases. I mean, we live and die with all of our teams. That's just how it is.
I'll give you a perfect example. Like I joked around on Twitter, and I was like, "Dear Major League Baseball, I just put in a bet for Taijuan Walker. Do your thing." like we've done it, and I've done it jokingly, but like to cheer on an injury, like it's. And I know Eagles fans have done it in the past. I know they have. Does it? And listen, if we had that platform years ago like we do now, I'd call them out on it now. It's wrong. It's a disgrace. Like you can't do it.
Yeah. No, you can't do that. That's absolutely terrible. But yeah, so it's like we were saying, the game was great last week. And it was funny, like you brought up, AJ Brown, the guy he was 5 for 5. Caught all 5 of his targets, 89 yards, and he had the touchdown. So it's so funny how that offense is so different when you have him in your lineup as opposed to when you don't have him in the lineup.
He has to be in the talks for the best receiver in the NFL right now. And listen, it's in no disrespect to CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill. Like we all know when those players aren't in, the teams are different. You need a number 1 receiver. But when AJ Brown is in, right, he's literally uncoverable. I don't care what the Dallas fan on Twitter says that Stephon Diggs or Trayvon Diggs shuts him down. He doesn't. Yeah, I mean, they each have a good game against each other. But A.J. Brown has to be up there for a top 3 receiver in the NFL right now. For a guy who's only played in, 2 games? 3 games?
3 games, yeah. Yeah, 3 games.
You can't guard him. You can't guard him.
And you left out one guy who you want to talk about changes the way a team plays. Nico Collins with the Texans. that guy, he got hurt. He got put on a shelf for 4 weeks, and slowly C.J. Stroud has gone backwards in his production. And last week, I don't even think he threw for over 100 yards. Like pretty much the same as Daniel Jones, like that he did last week.
Thanks, C.J. Stroud. I have you in fantasy.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I mean, C.J. Stroud is going backwards, and going into the season, I don't know if people thought of Nico Collins as the number one receiver because they traded for Stephon Diggs, and even with Stephon Diggs,
and don't they have another person? I can't think of it. He's got like a weird Tank Bennett, Tank something.
Tank Bigsby, Tank Bigsby.
No,
yeah, they have him, and I'm pretty sure it's Tank Bigsby, or Tank Dell.
Tank Dell, that's it. Tank Dell, you're right. Tank Dell.
Tank Dell. Who's Bigsby play for? I think Jacksonville. I think Tank
Dolphins or Jacksonville. It's definitely one of those Miami. It's one of those Florida teams.
It's definitely a Florida team. That's absolutely a Florida man thing. But yeah, I mean, so and to be quite honest with you, I mean, to shift it a little bit, I mean, Nico Collins, until he got hurt, he was quite arguably the best wide receiver in the league. I know he was for fantasy because I have him on my fantasy team. The guy was blowing everybody out of the water. He's having amazing games.
He's a good receiver. Like, there's no like you can't.
So I mean,
you can't.
Yeah,
you can't not.
Oh yeah, no, you can't. I mean, and to be quite honest with you, I didn't think that Houston would like kind of fumble around a little bit with losing him since they have Stephon Diggs, but maybe Stephon Diggs isn't as good as people thought.
I mean, he's good, but he's not. I think his best years are behind him. He was really good, like when he was with Minnesota. He had the Minnesota miracle catch.
Yeah,
and I think he was a little overhyped because of that. And listen, Stephon Diggs is a good wide receiver. Don't get it twisted. Like if you turned around and said, "Hey, we traded a 7th round pick for Stephon Diggs," I'd probably do a cartwheel live right now. I hurt myself, but yeah, he's a good receiver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you talk about the Giants, Saquon. You know, everyone talks about the tush push and him. Him not getting the touchdowns. Did you see the video? Run it again.
Oh yeah.
Run it again.
Yeah.
That guy just wants to win.
That's it.
I really think his mindset is he just wants to win. He's okay with putting up stats. You saw Nick wanted to put him back in with 13 yards to go, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good.
Nah.
Let the young guys eat."
Yep. He's like, "Let the young guys eat," and that turned into 8 for 15 yards for Will Shipley, and it turned into 15 for 56 yards from Kenneth Gainwell. So I mean, I'm like I remember we were sitting there, like we were mad that Gainwell was in the game. You were yelling, "Why is Gainwell in the game?" And he actually did pretty good. I mean, like he had a 14-yard gain, no touchdowns, but I mean he 13 attempts, 56 yards. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I can't believe he averaged 10 yards a carry against them.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
And that run he had on 3rd and 14 on the first drive.
Yes.
I know it wasn't a first down, but that dude felt that. I don't care. We heard it, and we were up in the 300 level.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny too because we were like where we were at. There was a lot of like Giants fans in that section, which of course there would be. They were in New York or Jersey, I should say, but we had a nice large crowd there with us. But you heard when he hit that guy, you heard the entire crowd go "ooh," like you heard it. And he's.
I will say. Listen, for people who don't know me, I'm very animated, as you can see, as I'm talking with my hands. I'm the most Irish Italian, not Italian guy there is. I talk with my hands. I'm very animated. I make fun of those teams, and Eric was getting mad at me. He's like, "Stop making friends," because the Giants fans around me. Into an awesome what? Special teams player? You better. You could. I'll trade him right now to I'll trade him to whoever you have on the Cowboys for Jay Ferguson.
Jay Ferguson. Oh man, what's going on, Jacob? Thank you for joining us today.
So Jacob, I'm with you, and I get it. I get why they didn't pay Barkley. They probably should have paid him in 2022. Instead, they turned around and gave that money to Daniel Jones. And I get that you couldn't pay him because you're paying Daniel Jones. For me, if I'm the Giants, I don't know if I'm going on Hard Knocks and saying, yeah, go test the market and come back with us. I don't know if I'm doing that. How many people watch Hard Knocks?
Yeah, that was probably the dumbest thing. I can't believe that they put that out there. When
what's the worst that could happen?
Well, when he was, why would you put it out there when he was linked to the Eagles from the start? I mean, from the start, there was word that he was linked to them. Why would you do that? I mean, so you already have feelers out there and people talking, saying, hey, this guy's looking to, he's really strong chance he goes to Philadelphia. And you sit there and say, nah, go ahead, test the market. They don't think anyone's going to pay him. Stop.
Oh, yeah. Frank the Giraffe, our buddy, Frank Ziemba, he's a realist. He's a Cowboys fan. We go back and forth, and I can't believe that this is the right the Cowboys are in. I really thought they were going to be good. I really thought Dak Prescott was going to lead that team, and I don't. And I know, and I go back and I eat my words because I sit there and say maybe Dak Prescott should have won MVP in 2023, but then I kind of looked at the garbage stats he's putting up in 2024, and he really is putting up garbage time stats last year. He really was, and I was dead wrong, and I hate admitting it. Because first off, I was like, a Dallas Cowboys should have won the MVP, and then I go back and I actually look at the stats. I was like, he had a lot of garbage times stats.
Yeah, you look at the stats, and you look at when he was throwing these balls downfield. You look at when, how often were they behind? There's a difference between.
I know. I was wrong. I said it. I'm wearing my mask.
So it's but see, when I say that, people think that I'm trashing a guy. I'm like, no, look at the stats. Look at the point in the game, and that's the give and take though, because at one point you say, oh my God, they're garbage time stats. But then you sit there and you look and it's like, okay, well, he was bringing them back, so it's like there's a line. There's always a gray area with those garbage time stats.
Because defensive quarters get complaints, they go into the prevent defense. I hate the prevent defense.
Oh,
I will say this. Over the summer, I was on vacation in Disney World, and I had my Eagles gear on, and I was talking to Dallas fans, and they're with Frank. They are not very good. They are not fans of Dak. I know, and Jacob, you make a good point. He doesn't play defense. No, but he runs the offense that keeps the defense on the field all the time. That's where it is. And I'll never understand because he just what did he say? We have lazy ass route runners, and the defense can't stop a wet cold. I'll take the defense can't stop anybody, but so we're just. None of this is on Dak. None of it. I'm asking. I'm not saying it is, Jacob. I'm just asking. He gets nothing of all the hate that Jalen Hurts gets. Dak gets nothing. He doesn't get held accountable for anything.
And he's on his second big contract. He's on his second big contract with the same team.
Okay.
So
Troy Aikman said they run shitty routes. He did say that. He did. Okay.
Did.
You're right.
Yeah.
Is it his third big deal? God
What's
damn.
that?
It's his third big deal?
Well, no. Well,
and that's right, because you think about it.
He had his rookie contract. Then he signed that extension, and now he's got this one. Okay, so it's his third contract, but it's his second large extension.
Second large one, yeah. And that's crazy. Yeah, so, and they didn't have to sign him, and I really think, and maybe I'm wrong. We got two Dallas guys chiming in. Do you think the offense would have been different with Derrick Henry in there? I think it would have. I really think it would have.
It absolutely.
If I'm wrong, tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong, and I'll agree with you. But I think if you had Derrick Henry on the Cowboys, I think you could rely on him to touch the ball 20 to 22 times a game, whether it's a screen pass.
Yeah, no, Derrick Henry's a game changer. You want to talk about
really
setting
is.
up a run, setting your passing game up
Your
through the
play
run. If they had Derrick Henry, their season this year would be completely different. Completely different.
I want to say something. I'm looking into the camera. Kellen Moore, I know you're not watching this, but if you ever do, I'm gonna record this video. Stop lining up in shotgun and giving it to Saquon. Go behind center and turn around and hand it off. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, and this is where I agree with Frank, no doubt on this. Look at this. Henry makes $8 million. Elliott and Dowdle combined make $8 million. And get this. They just
Trey Lance
they
makes
just
$5
activated what?
And Trey Lance makes $5 million.
Yeah, and don't forget they just activated Dalvin Cook from the practice squad.
Wait, did you see? And they're like, oh, people are like, he's gonna run all over teams. They're like, he's practicing against the Dallas Cowboys run defense. Like anybody runs all over them.
I mean, at this because of age-wise, would I take Dalvin Cook over Zeke? Yeah, I think age-wise, he's probably still got some more. He's not. I don't think he's as banged up as Zeke because let's face it, they destroyed Zeke. They ran him. They ran the brakes off that guy when he was there the first time around, and it's showing now.
As they should have. They paid him all that money. They should have.
Exactly.
They should have.
Exactly. Well, I'm not saying there's a chance. I'm just saying I would take Dalvin Cook over Zeke Elliott. Let's put it that way.
There's an opportunity.
Yeah, there's an opportunity. I mean, I don't know the ages. I want to say Cook is younger, or they're about the same age. I'm going to say, but for some reason, I don't feel Cook has had as much wear and tear in his body like Zeke did. They literally used Zeke as a battering ram, which, like Chris said earlier, they should have. They should have. You paid him all that money. He was always a north-south runner. So I mean, you do that. But again, I don't know the wear and tear, how much it's different with Cook and Elliott. I mean, but Elliott looks cooked. I mean, let's put it that way.
Yeah, he wasn't as you. I mean, he was used in Minnesota. And
I mean, there's a couple years in a row where he looked like the best running back in the game. He was just a stud.
He was also supposed to be a Philadelphia Eagle.
Very true. There was that.
But the Vikings were like, nah, man, you traded us Sam Bradford. We're making a trade, and we're taking him back.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but
thanks to everybody
I guess at this point
so far on TikTok. Appreciate you.
Very good, very good. Yeah, I don't have that up.
Yeah. Look, the person. Listen, and you're right. They ran Zeke like the Houston ran Earl Campbell, right? It's just you should have. And I wanted Zeke. I ain't gonna lie. Like that is, when they drafted Wentz, I didn't know who Carson Wentz was. I knew who Ezekiel Elliott was. I was like, we need to take Ezekiel Elliott. But
yeah, there was I remember that too. I do. I remember that. I mean, I wanted him to. I mean, it didn't happen, and I'm not saying that I was mad at it, but I was like, okay, they didn't take him. They didn't take him. That's all it is. All right. See where you at. Let's get. So anyway,
let's take a quick commercial break.
Yeah, I'm watching you right now on TikTok.
Oh,
little bit
invitation sent. Just an invite. we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. We're gonna show you a Philly Sports Trips promo video that we started. Well, Eric started. So Eric stepped away. So yeah, like I said, we want.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
That's fine. If the Cowboys drafted Wentz, he would still be our quarterback and the highest paid player in the league. That's hilarious.
That is pretty funny.
But yeah, like so the Philly Sports Trips. Let me tell you something. Doing the Cupid Shuffle with Santa Claus and Irving Fryer was not on my bucket list. I must say.
That was fun. That was fun. And I tried to upload the video of me being interviewed by Irving Fryer, but for some reason it wouldn't pop up. I didn't have enough time to mess with it and get it on the show. Yes, I was. Yeah, I was. If you want to see the interview, you can go to Vetted on Instagram, and it's me, Irving Fryer. I'm wearing my velour green tracksuit, which for a while there I was sweating my kuyans off, but it was good. It was fun. And they had a guy who they said they call Adam Sandler all the time, but this guy looked like Fat Bastard ate Adam Sandler. So I don't know if that really counted. He was like, Adam Sandler, get in my belly, and he fucking ate Adam Sandler. So
he was old.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was funny. I enjoyed it. I actually reached out to them at Vetted, and I'm trying to see if we can get either Irving Fryer on the show or Hollis Thomas, because it's their podcast that they do. So I'm trying to see if I can get one of them to come on. Yeah, that was a fun trip though. That was good times. Definitely would like to do it again. I'm not going to lie though. I do want to try and go to like a good destination spot one time, like do a Tampa trip. I mean, I looked into when they do the Cowboys trips. It's just so damn expensive. I can't afford that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could buy the tailgate, go to the game, find my own way out there, whatever. I mean, because I think they only charge like $125 a person to join their tailgate.
Yeah. Listen, imagine Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems. That's who Eric was dressed like. He was supposed to look like, we all know.
Yeah, that's. I would love to go. Although I did have someone on Facebook tell me that my tracksuit was absolutely fantastic, and I should wear that to every game I go to. So
yes,
I was like, okay, well, get myself, get my white sneakers on again, get myself a white Eagles hat. It'll be good.
The Yankees are not winning the World Series, Jacob. It's going to be the Dodgers.
Yeah, even without Ohtani. I mean, even without Ohtani, they're just like Freddie Freeman seems to be like he's dialed in. Like that's Freddie Freeman.
He's on a mission. Like he's on a mission. He had a rough season with his kid and everything. I thank God his kid seems to be okay. He was dealing with a lot of ish, and he is just I just think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious, and I hope the stigma is true. Jacob, are you a Yankees fan?
Well, thank you, Frank. I was digging that tracksuit too, man. I had a guy
I don't
call me.
know. I don't know if I'd wear that tracksuit week 1 of the NFL season. Of course, he's a Yankees fan and a Dallas Cowboys fan. I need to know your basketball team, Jacob. I
He
need to know
probably
which
has
basketball
it.
team you root for. Don't say a word. Jacob, tell me who you root for, and don't lie.
He's like, tell me who you root for and don't lie. You know what, Chris? I'm going to say,
What? Well, he's old.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think he knows we're going to roast him. Like it's
Oh,
not.
I'm gonna roast
not
him.
just,
I'm gonna roast. So wait, so
not,
he like.
hold on.
So hold on. Let's just see. He liked the Cowboys in the '90s. He liked the Yankees in the '90s, and he liked the Bulls in the '90s. It's like 33 teams.
Look, I think he's afraid to say that. You know, he's got that Lakers jersey with LeBron's number on it and Bronny's number on it. I think
absolutely. So we're gearing off topic, and let's define it. It's what we do. So Frank Anthony is a Phillies fan. He's from the Ben Salem area. Frank,
Right.
What are the talks in Tampa where the Rays are going to play? Because that stadium got destroyed during the hurricane.
That got
Just got ripped off. And I guess you
Yep.
can't tear the things down and play in the sun. I don't know.
Yeah, that.
That's even worse. That's worse.
Oh,
Put it up on the screen. This guy's not a Lakers fan. He's a LeBron fan. Now they're still trying to figure it out.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd heard that on ESPN the other day, and I was like, man, because they already came out and said that there's no way it's not going to be ready for opening day. And I mean, from the way it looks, it looks like that's just kind of like a fabric that's over top of the stadium. I mean, because it just got ripped apart like paper mache.
Like 300-mile-an-hour winds will do that to you, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess there they can do that down there because I guess whatever with the weather, I don't know. But see, I've always been afraid of something of that kind of a material for the roof of a stadium when you have these hurricanes that come through. Excuse me, I'm like burping up breakfast still. But that was I saw, and the thing that like tore me up about that too with that person. Let's see. Here we go. Here, Frank's got it. They're building a new ballpark. They don't want to drop 30 mil into the Trop when it's scheduled to be blown up in 2028. All right. Well, makes sense. Makes sense.
So what are they gonna not?
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. They're just trying to figure out where they want to play ball now.
I'm sure if
So
I'm sure they can play. There's college stadiums that fit people. I'm sure they'll pay. They'll get the revenue. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too familiar with like, a bunch of the other stadiums down there, but I mean,
Brian Mitchell, not that Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell on TikTok said he loves my hat, my old school hat. My wife bought it for me. It matches my sweatshirt. So, but yeah, it's all right. So let's stop talking. Let's stop talking about being depressed. Let's go back to the Eagles. So they're playing today at 1:00. Their game got moved from 4:25 to 1 p.m. That stuff doesn't bother me. I know certain Dallas fans like, oh, they would never do that to the Cowboys. No one really cares about the Cowboys. I mean, I do laundry on Sundays, and the only reason I have football on is because there's nothing else on TV. But they're playing Joe Burrow and the Bengals, who Joe Burrow isn't having that great of a season either. So I'm wondering if the Eagles come out. He's still Joe Burrow. He's still cool, Joe. Let's not get it twisted.
No, see, this has the like for me the trap game written all over it. Like you're looking at it, going, "Oh, okay, they should be able to win this game," and Joe Burrow's going to drop like 4 dimes in there, and they're going to get blown the hell away.
I hate you.
I just got that feeling for this game. Like I really don't. I really don't think that I'm not going to say I don't think that they're going to win. Like I'm optimistic, but this is a game that I could see them losing. I really do.
No, yeah. Listen, the Bengals are still the Bengals, and the one thing that is weirded out is you get automatically 3 points for being the home team. And the line right now is 2.5.
Yeah.
What's that
I don't
tell
know.
you? Like, take the money line on the Eagles, because I don't know if you take the money line on the Eagles. I think it's a game you stay away from. This game is like, realistically, it should probably be a push. But
Yeah, I wouldn't be touching this game.
No,
I'm not much of a Yeah, I'm not a gambler, but I wouldn't be touching this game at all.
No, I'm not gambling either. But it's. I'm trying to look at like some of the games, like Green Bay and Jacksonville. Green Bay has been playing pretty good football the last couple of games. They're a 3.5 point favorite.
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
Yeah,
it should be more.
I mean,
at a 6, it should also be like a 9 point swing, because, like I said, you get 3 points because you're the home team, but it's probably gonna be a touchdown win. I'm really in a dilemma. Like Drake May or CJ Stroud. Drake May's had a really good 2 weeks, and I know they're playing the Jets. So
yeah, that's a tough call, man. That's a tough call, because I just picked up Hunter Henry, because the last 2 games that Drake May has played, Hunter Henry has been getting a lot of targets and he's been doing really good. So I picked him up. He's my backup behind Cole Met from the Bears, but I don't know. I would probably go with CJ Stroud. I would probably take CJ Stroud. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about Drake May, but CJ Stroud's got. Yeah, I would take him. All right, so here we go. I'm looking at the preview for today's game with the Eagles and the Brownies. I mean the Bengals.
Brownies.
Here's it. Yeah, here's
the
Brownies. Here's the comparison for the 2 quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts has 1,308 yards passing, 7 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Joe Burrow has 1,759 yards with 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
What? That's impossible. I believe you. I said I believe it, but that's impossible.
Yeah, because I'm over here. I'm looking at the receiving yards. All right, AJ Brown. 24 targets, 16 catches, 324 yards, 3 touchdowns on a year. Jamar Chase, he's got 39 catches, 620 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Their longest of the year is actually really close. Brown had that 67-yarder, and Chase had a 70-yarder.
Yeah, but so here's where the difference is between the Eagles and the Browns. Here's the difference.
What you got?
Eagles can run the ball. But the Bengals, the Eagles can run the ball. So if you control the clock and keep Joe Burrow off the field, that's where it's going to come down to. If you can keep Joe Burrow off the field, because him having 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, the Browns. I keep saying the Browns. The Bengals. Let's see, between Chase Brown and Zach Moss, one's got 327 rushing yards on the year. The other has 231, both with combined 5 touchdowns. Barkley has 5 touchdowns, 658 yards on the ground.
Yeah, but they're also averaging a little under 4 yards a carry. That's where the difference is.
That is true.
If you combine them both, they probably come out, because I think Zach Moss was like 3.9, and then the other one, it was like a couple of yards, like 4.5, and you combine them, it's under 4 yards a carry, which is huge. Like, people don't think that's huge, but there's a big difference between 2nd and 7 and 2nd and 4, as opposed to 2nd and 7, 3rd and 5, as opposed to the Eagles, where it could be 2nd and 5, and now 2nd and 5 becomes 3rd and 1, and it goes from the tush push. They're going to go for it because Nick Sirianni doesn't kick field goals. Don't start Jake Elliott today. I tell you that right now. But that's where it is. That's where It's going to be the run game, as it always is. And the Bengals are not. They're a good team. They're a good defense, but they're not that good. And I also think Burrow's been sacked 18 times in 7 games. That's almost 3 a game, which means if he's getting sacked 3 times a game, how often is he getting hit?
Yeah, that's a lot. He's been getting banged up. So let's see. You have both teams are without some key guys on offense today.
We don't have Becton.
We don't have Dallas Goedert. They don't have T. Higgins, who was their second leading receiver.
So wait, so it's only Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd is on.
He's in.
I want to say Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, he's in Tennessee. They have the Bengals have Loavas, whatever his name is. I don't know who that player is. His wide receiver. He's actually got 3 touchdowns on the year, 189 total yards in the air. They have tight end Mike Gesicki. Chris Brown, one of their running backs. Well, actually, both their running backs are very involved with the passing game as well. So it's like they have a pretty balanced offensive attack. They don't have that stud running back like the Eagles do, but they have that dual threat, and they're doing it on both sides, on both ends, like rushing and receiving.
Does Sidney Brown get a chance to tackle his twin brother Chase Brown?
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I would absolutely love that. I mean, I'm excited to see them play against each other too. That'd be so awesome.
I'm just happy Sidney Brown's back. They got to get a punt returner because I don't want Cooper DeJean back there anymore. He's so good. He's so good on defense. Him and Hugh. Woo. Quinyon, man. Love that pick when it happened. People told me I was nuts. He didn't play any big schools. So far, that kid is balling out.
This game has an opportunity to be, believe it or not, between these 2 teams, it has an ability to be a shootout or a blowout, either way.
Oh, listen, this game's, and I know we always joke around, this game's going to be one of 3 ways. A blowout, a defensive battle, and somebody wins by a field goal on a last-second field goal.
Oof.
They are, oh my God, they are just, the hate for Jerry Jones is up there, man. And I get it. Like, listen, I know we joke around and we break Dallas fans' balls because, they did it to us for so many years. But 1996, man, like that's, you're getting into the 30 years, man. It's getting closer and closer, and it ain't looking better.
Oh, yeah.
It is not.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty ugly. It really is. It's pretty ugly there. And you're not happy at all.
And that guy, Mozzie Smith, was supposed to be like a Fletcher Cox and Dexter Lawrence. I got Cowboys fans telling me that this guy's going to be better than Fletcher Cox. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be better than Sexy Dexy and Dexter Lawrence. And that dude looks like Martin Lawrence more than Dexter Lawrence. Like, it just doesn't. Mozzie Smith is not good.
No, he's not at all.
He's not, and it's. And I still think they brought Trayvon Diggs back too soon.
You think so?
Yeah, like I know he tore his ACL, but he tore his ACL in a non-contact injury. Like, it'd be one thing, and I know there's no difference, but there's just in your head mentally. You're always thinking, I got hurt doing nothing. I got hurt in the practice field. Like, what's to stop somebody with like a great route? Just, and Trayvon Diggs is a phenomenal player. He's an all-pro guy. He's phenomenal. That is a crazy stat. That is insane. Read that out loud.
Mozzie Smith is the only interior linemen in the league with over 50% of the snaps with absolutely zero pressures on the season. That's nuts.
So you got to think about that. Think about that. That means you can guard him one-on-one, and you can focus on doubling on Micah or doubling on DeMarcus when they come back.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Absolutely.
That is some Eagles Chip Kelly shit that he would do in 2013 and 2014 when he drafted Marcus Smith.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like everyone's going to be coming all pro when they play the Dallas Cowboys this year against Mozzie Smith.
That's a hell of a stat.
So that means, so that means as a quarterback, and like if you watch game film and everything else, you look and you line up, you see where Mozzie Smith is lined up, and you can say, hey, listen, I ain't got to worry about so and so over here. So you make sure you do a chip off the block, or you do a chip over here. Like that's crazy. Oh,
absolutely.
I'm sorry, Dallas fans. Like, I know we break balls and you guys broke our balls for 52, 51 years, but holy Christ on a cracker. That is bad.
You think that's bad?
Oh, man. So, what do you have? So, before we end the show, what do you have the Eagles going like? Think they fully upset them? Again, it's only it's 2.5 point game.
Yeah, I think
it comes down to coaching.
This is a game where they can win it, but like you just said, it comes down to coaching. And I'm not backing our coaching up one bit. I still think that, there's some issues there with Sirianni. I don't like the fact that, there's issues there still. I don't think that a win over the Giants is going to suddenly fix that. And I don't think it's
sometimes a win over a bad team gets your team going. I'm just saying it's
well, it gets you back in the win column, it gets your confidence back. It gets it does have their positives. It does, but at the end of the day, the players are only there to try and execute what they're being told to play. What they're being told to run. So I don't think the issue is Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. I think the issue is Sirianni and Kellen Moore. I said this before. I don't think Sirianni likes the fact that Kellen Moore is calling most of these plays because that's not by his design.
True.
That was Howie Roseman.
So I just made this up. We're going to try and do this every week. Let's do a sleeper pick of the day for the Eagles. Who do you have having a decent game that we won't think that is going to stand out and be like, oh, shit?
Well, I think this is going to be a good game for Devontae Smith. He hasn't had many of them this year. He's been sort of lost in this offense this year. I mean, I know he was hurt, but you haven't heard his name a lot. And I think he's going to have a real good game today.
Okay. My sleeper pick.
Yeah.
Your sleeper pick is Devontae Smith, and that's not fair because that's not really sleeper pick because he's really good. I'm gonna go, and listen, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever this is at. I'm going with a sleeper pick, Grant Calcaterra.
Okay.
No Dallas Goedert today. I think the opportunity is there for him right now. So that's what I'm going to go with, Grant Calcaterra. Going to go with like 4 or 5 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. That is a crazy stat. That's a crazy sleeper.
It's a crazy stat for him, yeah, but it's absolutely doable. I mean, have you really watched him after he catches a ball? He gets some good yak after he catches a ball.
Yeah, he's not a bad player. It's just he was a 6th round.
No. Yeah, no. I mean, he's an adequate tight end in the NFL who has above average hands.
And I think with the Dallas Goedert injury, I think this is Dallas Goedert's last year in Philadelphia. And I think this is a year for Grant Calcaterra to step up.
Yeah, I do too. We talked about this last year. It's like Goedert cannot stay on the field. He just can't. and it's a shame because he has the capability, and he has the talent to be, an all pro every year. He has he has that talent, but he just can't stay on the field. So
let's do our NFC East picks. You got the
Okay.
Bears at the Commanders.
ooh, you know what? That's a tough one because
They're both playing good
I mean
ball.
yeah, the Bears, yeah, they're playing good ball. Russell Wilson, he came in last week like he didn't miss a beat. He came in, he had 3 touchdowns.
Russell
No, I'm
Wilson
sorry, no.
played
That it's
Steelers.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, I know. I
Caleb
know I
Williams.
messed up. Caleb Williams. I mean, he's had his ups and downs, but who's going to be the quarterback for the Commanders? They're talking it might
Is
be
Jaden?
Jalen Daniels, even though he's got hurt ribs.
So I'm going Chicago just based on the injury to Jaden Daniels because he gets hit once and he might be out the game.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they're going to turn this kid into another RG3. So I'm going Chicago as well.
So then you got San Fran and Dallas. San Fran lost it. So let's see. San Fran lost Brandon Ayuk for the season, which is crazy with all that hold. Just don't hold out, guys. Like it's karma. It doesn't make sense. And I don't think Micah Parsons is playing, and I don't think DeMarcus Lawrence is playing.
No, I think San Fran is getting back Deebo Samuel. I think he's coming back today. I'm going San Francisco.
I'm going San Fran because San Fran is home, and they always seem to just shit on
They
NFC
play
East.
well at home. They play
Yeah.
well at home, and you're right. They just shit all over the NFC East when you play at home too.
And then our last pick, the Giants or the Steelers.
I'm going Steelers.
It's going to be Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers. There's no.
Russell Wilson looks like he could be back, so we'll see.
Well, also Justin Fields. It was just shown on Fox that he tweaked his hamstring earlier this week. So he
Look at that.
depending on how long.
Me,
Yeah,
you, and Frank all agree. Bears, San Fran, Steelers.
that may be a first.
So there's a really good chance the NFC East could go 0-4 this weekend.
It could happen.
That would suck. Oh.
That would suck. But it would also be funny as hell.
Oh yeah. Again, people get too mad at, like I said, people always get mad when their team loses, and I'm old enough that I got other shit to worry about. And then my team loses. It sucks. Peace out, Frank. Enjoy the day, you too. So, all right. If you got nothing else, do our sign out because
All right, man.
we're done. Thanks for joining
Yes,
us on this
well,
Sunday morning.
Yes, thank you everyone who joined in. Of course, Frank and Jacob, all the people that have been watching on TikTok. I've been watching your feed, and I've been seeing you've been getting some good feedback from people. A few people like the hat you're wearing. I like it.
Shout out to
But
my wife.
also, yeah, nice. But yeah, thank you again to everybody that watched. Thank you again to our sponsors, La Terrain Watches, Monkey'sUncle.net, Back to 99 Productions, and of course the CEV Sports Podcast Network, the flagship network for our show. Let's see. Also, you can follow us on X, on Facebook. You can find us on. Well, of course, you got Chris is on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. Under Eric Perugini. You got, like I said, you got Apple, Spotify, podcast. All of it. You look for it, you can find us. Find our YouTube channel, which is you got to search my name. Eric Perugini, but you'll find the Philly Podcast on YouTube. So, but yeah, man, thank you everyone for watching today, and as always, go Birds.
Go Birds. So thanks everyone who joined on the TikTok live.